Hello, friends and fans. I am here with Jools Watsham, the game director behind the freshly announced Dementium the Ward for Nintendo Switch. We are talking about an atmospheric retro horror first-person shooter, an award-winning survival horror game brought back, now appearing on the Nintendo Switch. First off, Jools, thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Thanks, dude. Super exciting. Oh my gosh. Thanks, man.
So we've got our Dementium game. It's coming to Nintendo Switch this October. Perfect timing for those spooky fall vibes. Yeah,
that's right. I can't believe we pulled it off. Honestly, we were gunning for this month, October, of course. But you never know. You never know if you're gonna hit it, and we did. And we're like, oh my gosh, we did. Amazing.
So, for the uninitiated, Dementium, a game that some people may have played all the way back on the Nintendo DS. There was a remastered version for the 3DS.
That's right.
Now here we are, however many years later, on Nintendo Switch. What drives somebody to say, that's the title, we need to bring that title back,
do that
have
again.
to revisit it, yeah.
And it's quite poetic, actually. So the DS one came out in 2007, Halloween 2007.
Right.
And then 8 years later, we did Dementium Remastered for the 3DS. That was in December, so we kind of missed the month of horror there. And then this is 8 years later again. 16 years from the original. Quite poetic. I wish it was 6 and 6, but that's another story.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I feel like every October I go, okay, what am I playing? Luigi's Mansion, a little bit of, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I think people are probably curious about coming to Nintendo Switch. Are there any just features, enhancements, anything that's changed from, obviously you're coming from dual screen platforms to a single screen one.
That was the main thing, is kind of looking at what we did with the 3DS version, which, like you said, that was remastered from the DS. And obviously adapting that to the single screen experience. So that was the main effort, is like, okay, get everything on the controllers, get all of the sub-screen stuff up on the main screen. And if there are any, quality of life kind of updates, mainly in the controls, right? Because you want that immediate access to your weapons, to your arsenal, because the game focuses so much on switching from your flashlight to a weapon, which is scary. You don't really want to do it, but you kind of have to if you're going to defend yourself. One of the big things was making sure that you can immediately switch from a flashlight to the last weapon I had equipped, just by pushing up on the D-pad or pressing the Y button. And both of them do the same thing. So you can really quickly do that, like boom, pull out your weapon, and then push down on the D-pad to go back to your flashlight. So a lot of it was that, and just kind of little polish things, on the presentation. Little things like, the colors of the highlights and the buttons, and lots of little details. Obviously, we had to stretch a bunch of things to be 16 by 9 and kind of, because they were on the bottom screen, which is, more of a 320 by 240 kind of thing. So anyway, lots of little things to kind of make it naturally adapt to the Switch, so it felt like this was made for the Switch. This isn't a emulation or something weird. It's like, no, this fills up the whole screen, takes advantage of the all the buttons on the controller, and really also trying to make sure the game communicates itself to the player. For me, the game needs to speak for itself. You buy the game, download it, you jump in. Okay, what am I doing? It's natural FPS controls. So if you've ever played an FPS, you'll be good to go immediately. Move, look, attack, interact. We're done. But if you're not sure about that, one press of the start button immediately brings up the control diagram, and you're like, oh, okay. Got it. Let's go.
So, I was gonna say there's something beautiful there with the Switch, how it retains its handheld lineage, but also now you get to have that big screen experience.
Totally. It's amazing.
In terms of the style, something I really appreciate that was kept in the footage you showed me was talking about how there are still these retro horror games now. It's different from how it was on the 3DS, but the font keeps that kind of chunky little there's just something a little off-putting about it, and I was like, fantastic. I love that.
It actually is a new font, but it looks like an old font. Right. I took the old font that was it was technically aliased. It was not anti-aliased. It was just a single white pixel, nothing else. So I anti-aliased it. So I added, the gray smoothing of it all, just because that looks better. So it's a new font that still looks old, but it's nice. It retains that crunch. I love it. It has that crunchy feel, which is kind of delicious. You know, if you're into that kind of stuff, which I certainly am, and hopefully other people are as well, it really does respect the pixel in that regard.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. Respect the pixel. Oh man, that's good. I like that a lot. All right, cool. So I think the other thing I wanna tell people about this game, having played the one on 3DS and having seen you play the new one, is that it really reminded me of the classic kind of survival horror love that I have for that little puzzle, you get a note and you think about it and you've got the puzzle right in front of you and it's like, that is the moment. You need to get that thing to keep moving on. The little one we looked at the very beginning of the game with the piano, that is so, there's just like a,
I love that.
I don't know, it's like a classic, like almost like a Batman charm to that, you know, putting in the secret combo on the piano. Yeah, that kind of thing is really cool. So just anybody that has that kind of nostalgia or appreciation for some of the older Resident Evil games, I feel like this is maybe right up their alley.
Yeah, it really does have that vibe, doesn't it? I love those little puzzles as well. It kind of breaks up the pace, and it stops to make you kind of think a little bit, but you're still worried about the tension about what could be around the corner and something could attack you. But at the same time, now I have this other problem to deal with. But hopefully, you know, we put a lot of effort into trying to present them as charming as possible. Like I said, there's a little toy piano on the infant ward of one of the floors of the hospital. And you have to figure out how to play it, what to play to get something so you can go somewhere. And it's just, it's a little off-putting, but kind of fun and charming at the same time. Yeah, there's a few of those in the game, which is fun. I like that stuff, yeah.
Oh, man, okay, so perfect time. The season's changing, we're settling in, getting spooky. Dementium on Nintendo Switch. And is any other platforms at the moment?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so stay tuned. And is there anything else that we didn't quite get to that you want to just throw out there about the game?
I think we covered everything. I think the game's going to be great. I think you guys are going to love it.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
It's such a cool jump to go from something like the DS or the 3DS, which didn't really have that right analog stick. So already, it's such a big, already it's such a
I should mention
difference.
It runs at 60 frames a second, just in case that wasn't obvious from the trailer. It runs at 60 frames a second. It feels ridiculously smooth. As smooth as the trailer looks, as long as you're looking at a trailer that's running. I mean, it feels incredible. I mean, I was actually quite surprised. I mean, I loved the DS controls. One-to-one controller of you're looking, like it doesn't get any better than this. But then I'm playing it on my Pro Controller on the Switch, and I'm like, this feels really good. I'm like, So if you have any concerns about that, don't. It feels really amazing. Oh, and we do have Southpaw support in there as well if you want to switch stuff around.
Wow, that's funny. You don't see that as much nowadays. I feel like that's kind of gone out. People are just like, figure it out.
Well, and I put a poll out actually on Twitter for what that's worth, or X or whatever it's called these days.
Yep, right.
Because some people are like, you don't need to do that, and I'm like, I'm not left-handed, so I don't know. I don't want to assume. Right. You know what I mean? Because if I was left-handed and I needed it a certain way and it wasn't there, I can't play the game. That's really frustrating. So anyway, so people did answer. Yeah. I think a fair amount of people are like, I like the L and the R switch sticks reversed. So instead of moving with the left, you move with the right and look with the left stick, which I tried, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, right.
And then, but leave the L and the R buttons the same. But then some people said, no, switch those as well. And we're like, okay, so we did all three. So we have the regular righties, and then we have two versions of the lefties. Awesome. So there you go. Have fun.
Yeah. All right.
So hopefully there's no reason to enjoy it.
All right. That's excellent. Well, Jools, I could talk to you all day, but Dementium, Nintendo Switch, by the time you're seeing this video, that eShop page should be up. So you can wishlist that puppy.
You can wishlist that puppy. You can look at the screenshots, enjoy them, drool all over them, and then it'll be out in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Perfect for your Halloween 2023. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. Thank you, Jools, for joining us.
Thanks,
allowing us to reveal this game. It's fantastic.
Love it. Amazing.
And we'll see y'all next time. Okay. But goodbye.